can take a seat in the driver's chair over here. Yeah, so thanks for coming in and helping us out again. We really appreciate it. Basically, what we have is some concepts for an app that HP is developing for the idea of basically printing to the cloud, like printing anywhere.
Right.
And so, you know, if you're across campus or in a different building
Right.
or outside, you know, if you're on your way to a meeting or something.
Sure.
And so, like, this traveling, you know, unfamiliar place, like in campus, you know, if you're in a meeting room somewhere and a coffee shop, you know,
Right.
that's basically the idea. It's called It's called HP Roam,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an Android device. You're an Android user, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And before we get started, though, I just have a few questions. So I'll ask you these here. And yeah, let's see here. What kinds of documents do you print currently?
PDFs,
Okay.
Word documents, Excel sheets.
Okay.
That's the majority of it.
Okay.
Sometimes PowerPoints.
Okay. Sure. And how are you currently handling printing away from your desk?
So where I work at, I can print from anywhere, but I have to go and pick it up from, like, I can configure a printer.
Okay.
First, I have to configure it on my laptop.
Right.
To the specific one. So either it is going to be an IP or a printer name.
Right.
And then there is a tool on my laptop that will configure it, and then I can print it out.
Okay.
So normally I have like 2 printers configured, which are like close to my workspace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever travel for business?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Not as much recently, but I'm expecting quite a bit in the coming year.
Okay. What percentage of the time do you need to print while you're away from the office?
It kind of depends if I'm traveling for work or because I work. Majority of my time, I want to say more than 80%, is not a desk job. I work in a lab.
Okay.
And every now and then I want to print something. So and I visit different campuses.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to say quite a lot.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, great. So those are the questions I had there. Now I have some questions in here that will take you through some areas of the prototype that we want to get the feedback on.
Sure.
So if you could read the task scenario and then think aloud, tell me what you're thinking in Zoom. You know, I'm clicking on this,
Sure.
clicking on this, I expect this to happen. And you can move at your own speed whenever you feel like you found the answer, you can go to the next one.
Okay.
When you go into each task has its own, if you go into these screens of this prototype.
If I'm task 1, press task 1.
Yeah. And so to get back, you can click that little battery. It will take you back to the launcher. It's like hidden up there. And it's a prototype, so not everything is wired up. So I'll let you know if you hit, like, you tap on something, nothing happens. It's not deliberate.
Sure.
So yeah. And then when we're finished, I'll just be through and I'll have some additional questions for you.
Sure thing.
So give me a second. I'll be going through there, and I'll give you the signal when I'm ready, and we can go ahead and get started.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Chintan, you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Okay.
just remember to think aloud for me too.
Okay, yeah, so I clicked on the link, which was for the Android device. And the second step was to enter my username password for the company, but it just brought me to a black and white desktop. So I think I should be clicking on the HP ROM icon. Oh, okay, so sign in. I'm not sure what my email should be. It doesn't say here what the email is supposed to be for the signing in.
Yeah, you can just hit next.
Okay. Okay, I've hit the allow access, so it is gonna find a printer for me that's the closest. It's asking to allow for the location, proximity access, allow access. Get started. It's searching for the printer right now, and it identified the reception printer. So I'm gonna click on identify. I get a message that the printer I have identified is showing a message. So I clicked on show message, but nothing has popped up so far.
Okay, you can go to the next task, and actually, if you go back to the task launcher,
Okay.
Start on task 3, and then we'll go back to task 2.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. At 7:30 a.m. earlier today, you added 3 documents to your print queue. They were called extended forecast, sales projections, quarterly report. Now you're clicking on task 3. It's a saved document. I don't see any direct print option.
So you would have been inside of Word, inside Word on your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't see a print option, so I'm not exactly sure how to print this document. That means, okay, I got it. I clicked on the menu, print, clicking on the printer icon. It says reception printer, so clicking on option. It is not showing me the HR printer. Okay, found the HR printer from the menu. Okay. Oh no, I accidentally. Okay. I have 3 other documents in the queue waiting to print. Verified documents are still relevant for printing.
What does that yellow message mean?
Busy printing, your job's waiting. So I'm guessing it is printing from the first document in the queue. I should have unchecked those because right now I think
Was that from your queue or somebody else or both?
that was from my queue, and then it started printing, so it did print all the documents. And now I'm getting an error message on the sales projection PDF that fix error or send to different printer. And when I click on it, it's saying it found a reception printer which is out of paper. So I'm gonna click on the menu. Find public printer, and it's showing me 3 printers. Oh, it took me to some Google Maps. So I'm guessing this is taking me outside the campus. Yeah, I don't think it found another printer. So it's still searching for company printers. Okay, it's again showing me the reception printer, which is out of paper, so I'm not sure how to find other printers in the company. Okay, I think it is kind of stuck in a loop where it is just showing me the same printer over and over again. I'm not sure if I can get out of this. But I think the task was to print the manufacturing contract, and that is printed. So can I move to the next task?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The task 2.
Task 2?
Yes.
Okay, so I have opened the contract in front of me. Which printer is in range? So I'm gonna go to the menu and hit print. Click on the print icon. It's the reception printer is in range. So I'm gonna click on option. Okay. Set double-sided to save paper. I'm not sure. I don't see the option to set it to double-sided. Okay, I think I should have seen that before I hit the printer option. Okay, two-sided. It is two-sided, and print. Okay, building 5 commons printer is in range. I'm gonna click options. I'm not exactly sure how to see additional printers in range. Okay, it's a little slow. but I find the HR printer by the kitchen, and I'm gonna unclick all others except for the manufacturing contract and hit print. Okay, it says busy printing, your job's waiting. I'm not sure why it is showing a cross on the quarterly report and sales projection when I already unchecked it. I'm not sure why it is waiting to print that. Okay, so the manufacturing contract has been printed. So do you need me to go out and look at the printer to check if the printer is printing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm assuming the task is done. I know how the job has been printed by going to the printer. Should I move to task 4?
Sure.
Okay. Print 3 documents and state when they are complete. Wait for documents to print. Okay, I have print 3 documents, but it shows there is 1 document, 2 PowerPoint, and 1 PDF. Okay, gonna hit print. Busy printing, your jobs are waiting. Is printing the documents. Okay, so it says out of paper. And I'm gonna see fix error. It's searching for other printers nearby. It didn't identify the kitchen. It just identified the reception printer again. Okay, so I found the HR printer by the kitchen now. Now I'm gonna hit print. It's complete. Okay, so task 4 is complete. Moving to task 5. Okay, I walked to a different building in the campus. So I'm gonna try and hit print and see what printer shows up. Building 5 Commons printer is in range. Okay, so I'm in building 5. So that's the printer that I find closest, is building 5 Commons printer. Hit print. It says printing. Okay, I think it's the task is complete because it didn't ask me to print, but I went ahead and hit the print button, so it's just showing the printing message.
It would make a printing coming out.
Okay. So moving to task 6. PM. Now you are on a plane going to Phoenix. On the way we're going to find out if there's a printer near your hotel. Okay, it says searching for Rome Bluetooth printers. To use public printer, locate. Okay, it's showing me 3 different printers, and the closest one is the HP Color LaserJet Pro. And getting directions to it. I'm not sure if it is gonna go and actually give me a direction. So I think although the task is complete, I gone to the Google Maps and hit directions. So moving on to task 7.
How would you, on that last one, how would you actually get the document out of the printer? Like there's a printer behind you there.
Right.
You can, you know, how would you actually retrieve the document there? If you were at the hotel, so you're at the hotel lobby and you found the printer, and then now you want to get the document for that manufacturing contract.
I would do release with code, HP Rome 121654863. Okay, it's up here.
Chichen, can you do me a favor? There's a white cable on the ground.
Sure.
Can you take the adapter off and plug the VGA into the black VGA that's in the side of that surface?
Sure.
Yeah. Just pull that white thing off and yeah, see the black on the right hand side? Right where you set that white thing, see the black little cable hanging there? Closer to the left a little. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Thanks.
It says this prototype has ended. Click to continue.
So yeah, you just go ahead and click it and do it again if you would.
Release with code. HP Rome. Enter a code. 1654863. That's a pre-programmed code. Enter. And I see the document pop up and print. Okay, it says prototype has ended.
Okay, you can go on to the next task when you're ready.
Okay. So moving on to task 8. It's 6:30 a.m. the next day. You're back at your own office and now you need to print, but somebody is printing 30 copies of, oh wow, you need another printer. It's not going back to the task. Okay, I got it. Okay, send the manufacturing contract on your laptop to the reception desk printer. Task 8 doesn't seem to be active.
Can you try task 7?
Task 7?
Yeah, task 7, the one you just did?
Sure. Okay, so I see the document, but I'm still.
Actually, for task 8, you can use the laptop on the table. There's a Dell.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so going to File.
And can you move that Android phone off of, move it away from there? Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sure.
Thank you.
HP ROM. Next. Sign in. Oh, it didn't show me the option. Let me try again. Going to File.
What was the option you were looking for?
To find a different printer, the reception desk printer. So
okay.
I'm trying to see if I can add a printer. Well, as soon as I sign in, it's sending to the cloud and manage my queue. Let's see.
Is there a way for you to just print that document with whatever printer is there?
I don't see one, so I'm gonna try again, because when I see options, it's not, when I do add printer, it just, the drop down menu goes back up.
Oh, okay.
So I don't see a option.
Let's assume you selected it there. It might just be a problem in the prototype.
Okay. So I'm gonna just hit print. Next, sign in. Sending to cloud. Manage my queue.
Yeah, so how would you know, there's a badge there on the desk too. You can use the badge for the next question.
Oh, okay.
But how would you actually retrieve that document now?
Right, I think I should have clicked on retrieve code, or
Okay.
let me see, print again, sign in. Get release code 9213. Okay, so I think if I click with a batch or hit the code.
Okay. Yeah, so that if you tap the screen and swipe your badge, try the big screen in front of you up above there.
Authenticate with badge. HP ROM.
Yeah, so if you touch your badge like you did, you can just pretend, but just tap with your finger that icon, yeah. And that's basically what would happen.
Got it, yeah. Now the contract has come up, so print. Yeah. What did I present it? Okay.
Okay.
I think that was the last of the task.
Yeah, how would you change the ink to black and white? The last question there.
Ink, oh. So I'm gonna go back here, go to print. Printer properties. No. Page setup. I don't see an option to change the ink color. Because wherever I hit, it just sends for the print. It doesn't show me any options. Okay, go manage my queue. And let's see if there is an option here. Settings, color. I'm not sure where the black and white is. Settings, color, black and white. But I don't see an actual option to change it here. Yeah, it's not showing me an actual option to change. I mean, I see the option, but it's not giving me the black and white option.
Okay, yeah, that would move if it was real life.
Sure. Okay, so I think that was the last task.
Okay, I'll just be through to ask you a few more questions.
Sure.
Okay, so just questions here. So I'm going to show you a bunch of screens that the ones you saw today.
Sure.
And what I would like you to do is to there's going to be in the top right corner there's going to be like a little guy, and it'll bring open these different characters. You can choose which one goes with the reaction or feeling that you have about it.
Sure.
You can make a comment on there.
Okay.
So to activate it, you click. So these first screens are the install experience. So if you click on it, will activate it, and then move your mouse wherever you want to go. So for example, and it will bring. Then you can choose the one that you, and then you can add some text there, and then hit OK. So for example, and then OK.
Okay.
Okay, so just click that to activate it. Move your mouse, click it to wherever, so you can get very specific about on the design. And then when you're ready to go to the next set of screens, there's a tiny little button in the very left-hand corner. It says Next. Okay. So you can go there. Okay. And then I'll be through to ask you a few more questions when you're finished.
Sure.
If there's anything you want to vocalize, you want to tell me while you're doing this, that's great too.
Sure. So this first one looks like a standard Android app page. So that is the format is pretty familiar. So it's pretty familiar for an app install. This one here is a desktop ROM. Yeah, that is pretty familiar too. Acme. The formatting looks again familiar, but I'm not sure if I've used this Active Directory or Acme thing. It's a pretty neat feature that it can help me find the printer on its own. I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
This is a okay feature to have, I guess, to have the notification, but I mean, unless I want to print it, I'm not interested in the printer notification. So get notified when a printer is nearby. I probably wouldn't want that, because then it would be confusing of how many places I've walked by and there are constant notifications. That would be a distraction.
Okay.
Okay, going next. Familiar layout, although never used on my phone, so might be a good thing to have. This public printer is pretty curious how it would work, but might be a good thing to also see what kind of location it is, because it says HP printer, but if it's a FedEx or some more or less desirable location. Okay, I guess that is in the next icon. Although I'm not sure, this is kind of a redundant thing where when I click on the map icon, I just want the direction to go straight there and not have this detail pop up.
Okay.
Going to next. So I'm not sure if it is only gonna find public printer which has ROM installed on it, or only HP printers. Yeah, this is interesting to find my queue on a public printer. A little wary of security though, because I deal with a lot of confidential documentation. Next. These are pretty good formats, clearly identifies, and I'm hoping in the actual it would work wherever I want to click it if I want to find more printers. So I'm happy about the layout. Documents have been added to your queue.
The one on the left is that, if you enable notifications,
Right.
printers in range.
Yeah, that would be really neat to have it just a one-click thing rather than going through the whole ROM. Yeah, if I don't have to go through the whole thing again, that is a good thing. I'd like an error message to be more bold. Kind of this is a little, I don't know, out of paper. Like I'm good with the yellow kind of mild color for the printing where I have to wait a little. But if it is out of paper, I want a much more bolder red or something um, message to pop up. Definitely good to be able to print while roaming. Yeah, I think I approve of all of these use cases. Would be good to have more options here, whether I want double-sided, black and white, colored. to be displayed right up here. Yeah, this is a pretty standard format.
Can you move it? Can you close that one and fix it again? Because I think the target area is on the little guy itself. Yeah. Like move your mouse because you're.
Oh, okay,
you're
right,
putting the
right.
target on top of the guy. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, good format. But I think the yeah, I think the settings, you can change stuff there. So I think it's a good format. I'm assuming this is to print. I'm used to standard print options. I'll be happy with the standard place for print in desktop. Okay, I think that was the last of it.
Okay, I'll just be through to ask you a few follow-up questions. Okay. All right, so just a few follow-up questions here.
Sure.
Thanks for going through that. Okay, so what is the main reason why you would use this HP ROM from what you saw here today?
Oh, convenience for somebody like me who doesn't.
If you want to check it.
Biggest thing is convenience,
Uh-huh.
so that I'm not like if I am with my current setup, even if I have the option to print from a different printer, but I have to go personally to the printer, find the name, configure it on my laptop. I mean, I don't have the option to print from my phone at all. So that itself is a really good convenience that I would be really happy about. Other than that, the fact that it actually finds the printer by itself and I don't have to worry about it, that is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, and I think that was like a Bluetooth to auto detect like that.
Right, right. So I mean, I'm not sure what technology they would be using, but yeah, Bluetooth is one of them. There's a lot of other NFC, even Wi-Fi.
If there was one thing we could change about what you saw, keep everything the same and change one thing, what one thing would you have us change?
So I'm not entirely sure when it says find public printers, if it is only gonna find HP printers with ROM enabled or ROM on it, if it is gonna help me find maybe say other printers which are closer by. So if an HP printer is like 10 miles away, but an Epson printer which is half a mile away, so I'm not sure exactly how that would work.
I think it would be the HP ROM ones only.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that might lead me to more time if I have to go find a public printer.
Right, right. Okay. anything else you would have us change from what you saw here today?
So I'm also uncertain about the security when using a
Okay.
public printer,
Okay.
because a lot of them like will have the cache or the print job
Mm,
on it unless manually deleted. I'm not sure
mm,
how that would work,
mhm,
especially for somebody like me who deals with a lot of confidential documentation.
mhm,
So as soon as I print, I need it to be erased
mhm,
and not
mhm,
have any trace of it.
mhm,
So if I'm not confident of that, I'd be not happy using public printers.
mhm. Um, what is a good way to show that it's truly erasing? Would it be like clear cache button, or would it be, wipe this
Yeah,
computer and the whole thing
so
would go black and
the printers that we have at work right now, there is a manual option of deleting print job.
yeah,
So that would be a good thing to have. So whenever you're done printing, it should maybe ask, pop a message, do you want to retain or delete the job?
yeah,
And that would be good to know that if I delete it, then there is no trace of it.
all right. Even in your queue, even your logged in queue on your app or something.
Yeah. I want to just have no trace of it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
destroy, like almost destroy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there is always the more the technology that you,
Mm,
especially with wireless, there is the more.
intercept, yeah.
Right.
Sure. Okay, so the encryption of the document is really the key there.
Right. I mean, especially using a public printer, that is one thing I'd be really wary about.
Okay. There's one thing we could keep the same but change everything else. What one thing would you have us keep the same?
The ability for it to automatically find the printers for me,
Okay.
even within the campus,
Mm-hmm.
because I travel quite a bit to different campuses.
Yeah. Right. So just for it to know, because so you don't have to.
Right.
So the one thing I wanted to ask you, that for the company ones, for the ones that are on campus,
Right.
the idea is that it would auto detect those.
Right.
But for when you leave the campus, so that's the on campus. When you leave the campus,
Right.
When you leave the campus, oops, like here, so you left the campus basically there.
Right.
It's making you go locate to get to that map. Do you want it to say like 5 nearby? Like none detected on campus, but 5 nearby.
Yeah, I mean that would be definitely preferable, because if I can find something within the campus, or even because I work at Intel, so it has a lot of campuses nearby.
Yes.
So if it is just at a nearby campus, I would prefer going to a nearby campus rather than using a public printer.
Right. Sure. Okay. Let's go to the next page in there, if you would. Scroll to page 2. Yeah, and then if you could rate on that scale. I think setting up the app, there's 1 on difficult, 5 on easy. What number would you give that?
It was fairly easy. I mean, it was fairly standard Android app experience.
Okay.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So fairly easy, at least, especially for somebody like me.
So what number would you give?
Yeah, definitely 5.
Okay, let's go to the next one. How would you rate that one? Printing with the double-sided.
Yeah, I can understand with the phone screen real estate. It's kind of difficult to cramp in everything. But yeah, I think the options, if it is a little more highlighted, that will definitely help to easily navigate through the app. I would probably give it a 3.
Okay. Let's go to the next one then. Printing to nearby printers.
It was fairly easy. Yeah. Although the one thing that I would, so when I'm in a different building, if you just tell me, okay, reception printer, that might still be a good thing. But if you tell me a different printer by the kitchen, I don't know where the kitchen is. So I'm not sure how to get to the kitchen. So I'll probably I don't know if you can navigate me through the printer, but
I think that's a future release or something as
right,
beacons
right.
inside.
But other than that, I think it is pretty intuitive. So 4.
Okay. Yeah, like you just have to ask someone.
Right,
Get to
right,
the right area and then say,
right.
"Oh, where's the kitchen here?" And say, "Oh,
Yeah, it's definitely not in a hurry because
Right.
the building is gonna be huge.
right. How about the next one, troubleshooting?
Troubleshooting, as I said, if it is out of paper, I'd like the notification to be more bolder, that it's an actual big error, unlike the printing and it's just waiting on somebody to print, because that way at least I know that it will be printed, but this way it is never going to be printed. So I'd like to see a more brighter, bolder notification.
Okay.
So a 3 on this.
Let's go to the next one then. Printing from an unfamiliar location.
Definitely easy because it will find the printer for me. But as I said, the only issue is that if I'm very new to the first time in a new building, I don't know my way around the building. So that might be a bit of a challenge.
Right.
But yeah, I think if the naming of the printers and everything was much more standardized, it would be easier to ask somebody and say, well, hey, or if it is just one printing location on the floor, then it's easy to find, but all buildings are wired differently. Like on my building, on the same floor, there are 3 printer locations. So I'll give a 4 on this.
Okay.
Finding a printer while traveling, definitely easy. But as I said, and I understand that with HP it will only find HP printers, but I might be more inclined to actually find it via Google, which will be more broad category and not only HP ROM. So I won't have to travel 10 miles as opposed to maybe something a few blocks down the road.
Those printers wouldn't be wouldn't be print from phone enabled.
Right.
You have to go traditional.
Right.
Jump
But
drive, thumb
if
drive.
it is a time,
The time is the issue. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll definitely give this a 4.
Okay.
Printing from the road, definitely easy, especially if I have, I think if I check in or prioritize, say when it finds the ROM printer, let's say the Best Western or Hilton or whatever, and if there is a way to say, okay, for the next 1 week I'm gonna be frequenting this location, so make this a priority rather than finding other printers.
Okay.
So that might be a good feature to add. But other than that, it's pretty good at finding the printer. So a 4 on that.
Okay.
Printing from the desktop was pretty standard, so no issues there. Fairly easy, so 5 on both.
Okay. How would you read that statement there?
I feel that HP ROM makes it easy to print valid frame. Yeah, strongly agree. 5.
Okay.
HP ROM requires training. Not for me, because I deal with printing a lot. So I would disagree.
Okay.
It doesn't require much training for somebody like me.
Okay. Easier to use in other ways of printing, like when you're on the go?
I'd say agree. I'm not sure about, as I mentioned, with the time constraint, I don't want to travel 10, 20 miles to find an HP ROM printer. So I'll give it a 4.
Okay. And then how likely would you be to use it at those 3 locations there?
Very highly likely, for sure, at work. Considering that I travel to other campuses quite a bit. On the road, example, an airport. Yeah, definitely likely. So on the next 2 questions, very likely if I'm ensured about the security, because for me, I deal primarily with confidential documents. So if that is not met, then I wouldn't be.
So
Yeah.
there's a 4 for these ones. What number are you giving?
On the, I would give it a 3 for both.
For
Yeah.
both, okay, because of the security thing.
Right.
And then any other big concerns? I made a note already about that.
Yeah, I think the concerns is what I mentioned. So one is the time crunch, and second is the security.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Are you guys doing the VR studies as well?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay, okay.
I had
Are you
some.
using the Apple Pay or Android Pay by any chance?
I am not. I was thinking about it, but because I don't have a Samsung phone, so Samsung Pay is much better than Android Pay. Oh, okay. So I haven't used it yet. So yeah. Okay. So that is something that I'm actually thinking about. Yeah. I haven't watched that video. Yeah, using PayPal or Venmo or anything like that. Yeah, PayPal. PayPal quite a bit. But other than that, not much. Yeah, the making the VR. Yeah, the VR is pretty cool. So I experienced it a couple years. I went almost 3 years back when it was just very new. So it was a very raw prototype. So it wasn't that good at all. So I haven't had any experiences like the current ones, which are much more okay. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
I wanted to say to thank you. I wanted to say to you, go downstairs and you're going to see it and go to the door. It's the door on the left. It's the door on the right of the wall. The door on the left is the garage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's the wall. It's after 7, so they walk the building.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.